beautiful people. Welcome back to another episode of Sweet Millionaire Formula, the podcast where we stack, spill, and move with purpose. I'm your host, Courtney, and today we're diving into something I've been sitting on all week: how your money literacy changes your life. But here's the truth. Having money doesn't just change your life, it's a test. The higher you go, the more discipline it takes to stay there. And because the show is more than just about dollars, it's about culture, community, and freedom, we're going to break this down across 3 segments: stack your paper, spill the wealth, and millionaire moves. So grab that drink, sis, or your pen, because we're about to get into it. Segment 1, stack your paper. Today's topic, I wanted to bring up how when you start to have a money goal that's in front of you, and it cannot just be a money goal, but I feel like your goals are attached to your money. And once you know where your money is going and what you have your eyes set on, something that you're going after, then it's your prime opportunity to make sure that your money is matching that. And I feel like some of the times that, like, I just read this great book, and I want to tag it in the today's episode for you guys. But it's called the Money Cleanse. While I was reading this book, several things stood out to me. Is one, that our money has a yearly pattern, a monthly pattern, and we can break down our finances and what it is that allows us to propel and to predict what we're going to go through during a year. Now, when the thought of me doing a money cleanse was something I didn't even know about. And so when I read the book, I was a little bit apprehensive because I'm just like, do I have to plan for the whole year? But as I read more into the book, I just started to understand that when, like, say, I don't know how to describe it, but I'm just talking about how I'm preparing to launch, the next series of the podcast, and how it takes a certain amount of predicting my finances for the year in order for me to see what areas monthly I have left for room to invest. I think it's super important that on our financial journey and our journey to elevation and elevating our money, that we have these goals that are bigger than ourselves. So I wanted that you can use your faith and your dollars, but you can use your faith so that you can dream bigger and don't have to dream so small. I know for me, it's super important that I open up my performing arts center. It is something that I believe I'm called to do. I feel like it's very purposeful. And I feel like the more I can predict my annual yearly earnings and my annual yearly expenditures, like what am I spending? How often does my phone bill come out? How often does rent come out? How much of my money is going towards bills? How much is going towards my savings? How much is going towards my wants? I think it's unrealistic to create a budget without wants in there, because you're going to spend money on something that you want. And if you make a budget for it, you won't be surprised that the money is gone. But at the same time, I feel like a high amount of attention needs to start to be paid to those goals. It didn't occur to me when 4 years ago, when I was working at Wendy's, I'm telling you, when I worked in the drive-thru, I worked in the drive-thru like all morning long. And to hear people, can I get a big bag? Can I get a McWhopper? Can I get a potatoes? Can I get a in your ear for 8 hours? I don't understand if y'all know, but that shit is so draining at the end of the day. Like, it was a point where I would work from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. and I would get home with my daughter and fall asleep for the rest of the night. I wouldn't even cook her food. She would have to make noodles for dinner. And it's so sad because I'm just like, you know how wore out your body gets when you have to trade your body for money, and how important it is to plan for your goals, and how even though you're working your 9 to 5, even though you're working your 6 to 3 or 7 to 3, however y'all put it, because I just found out that people saying that 9 to 5 means working 9 hours a day, 5 times a week. That's what I just found out. And it's super funny because I thought everybody was saying 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. But when you have to use your body as your means to making money, and you don't plan goals in the long sight, I think it hinders your ability to evolve financially, because one, you don't have no purpose onto why you need to be saving this money, what you have to look forward to, and how much it's going to cost. When I go to price something, or sometimes I'll go just window shop something that I really like, and then I'll price it. And in my back of my mind, I already put a note in there that I'm going to need X, Y, and Z, and this is how I'm going to get it. And I feel like that has made me, my goals have made me a stronger person. My visions and dreams have pulled me into financial literacy. And now that I'm on the other side of knowing financial literacy, it's kind of hard to go back to spending how I want, living how I want, running up credit card bills. It's kind of hard to do that now because it's like, in the end, I need my credit score so that when I apply for my business credit financing, um, I can get approved and I can build and have good money practices now. So when you're stacking your paper, you got to be considerate that you have to plan your money annually. And even if you have to use like the envelope method where you put all your receipts at the end of the month into one envelope and then you break down each section, your bank statement should do this for you automatically. But if they don't do it automatically, I would say that you can use the envelope method by again, just saving all your receipts. Save all your receipts, put them in an envelope, and then you can break down what you spend on household, hair, miscellaneous bills, etc. But one way or another, in order to stack your paper properly, you're going to have to be able to start to plan your year annually and base your reoccurring bills and see what loopholes and what pockets of money do you have to set aside for your goals specifically. Segment 2, spill the wealth. Now, I was overlooking some of the financial records of Shedeur Sanders, and it just occurred to me that the reason the NFL is up in a tizzy is because there is a I believe that Shedeur Sanders is more than ready to be the lead quarterback for the Browns, but I believe that there is a time and a place. And if that boy hasn't been in the NFL, but he's like a newborn in the NFL, like, yes, everybody is checking for him and that demand is really high. But I believe when you're really building your wealth and when you're really um effective as he is as a person, as an athlete, as a leader, as a brand, he carries himself across these different mediums without losing who he is. And I think that that's super commendable and that's super honorable, not only of his upbringing, but also of his outlook on where he is and where he's going. Football is a long career. And I feel like as people, we're trying to push him into play right now, get it done, succeed, all for our own gratification. But in reality, we know that it takes time to be a great quarterback. It takes time to build the regimen of an NFL player. Shedeur Sanders, while he has a amazing reputation for himself, I believe that he is only going to be better with time. As great as he is, I feel like if we give him more time, he'll be able to be a little bit more polished. And I feel like the amount of critics that are aiming at him, I don't think that he takes any of it personally. I don't even think he watches or sees criticism and takes it like personally. I believe he know who he is. But I wanted to point out how what nobody knew during the NFL draft, because we all like consecutively we were all wondering like how did he fall to the 5th round pick? I'm a football fan. I've been waiting for football season since last season. Okay, since the Eagles, I think it was Eagles. I hope it was because Saquon Barkley and the other guy. Since they played, I've been waiting for the football season, and I just feel like there's also a great movie. I love how football for football players is art, and how when we do make it racial, because it is racial. Look at the amount of influence that these black men and players have on the world, and yet still some of them are being locked in prisons. Millions of them are being locked away in prisons and treated as if they don't matter. And it's just so crazy that the United States still uses black skin as a commodity. Honestly, it's still traded and used as a commodity, not a person. And I think the humanity of it all and the creativity of it all, with him coming out, I'm super excited to see the creative work of Jordan Peele. but I'm also curious to see what's his messaging in the film and what's his take on it, because football is personal, football is emotional, football is financial gains for a lot of people in America, especially because this is a place where we thrive on sports and things of that nature. And so it's billion-dollar businesses year in and year out. But I don't think that at the cost of your health and your body that you should die playing football. But I do want to know what perspective Jordan Peele is going to have, because when Jordan Peele does a body of work, he has a underlying layered message that can be taken from so many different angles. There's no one place that the message has to go, or there's no one place that message has to land. And I think that that's the best thing about um, art, is that you can come in with your aesthetics and what's aesthetically pleasing to you, but then you can leave with a fusion of mixed emotions and reactions that doesn't necessarily have an ending or a landing place. And Jordan Peele, with him, he is depicting, I believe, in a horror thriller or a thriller, the sacrifice that it takes and what you're willing to sacrifice to win it all or to be a football player. So that's questions that we're gonna have to figure out. I will come back and review that, so make sure you guys come back to the episode so that we can talk about that after it comes out next week. But Shedeur Sanders has a clause in his contract with the NFL, which is a prime clause that says that he has to earn income from his name, his likeness, his jerseys, his football sales, anything that's associated with his name. He has to earn percentages from that. And so reportedly, from the NFL reportings, Shedeur Sanders has earned a racking, I believe it's 200 million or 250 million with his jersey. Oh, so right now it's saying that the rookie Shedeur Sanders jersey quickly became the best-selling jersey in the NFL rookie season across all platforms like Fanatics, NFL.com. But nobody knew why he dropped to the 5th round in the draft pick. And so what's happening is Shedeur Sanders has a clause in his contract that says he has to earn a percentage of these sales of his name and his likeness. And I think that the amount of foolery, mockery, and it was so unclassy the way the NFL treated the draft around Shedeur Sanders. So reckless, and it was so, because one, they had some children from the Atlanta Falcons head coach call Shedeur Sanders. How did he get his number? And then this with the record that he has, he drops to the 5th round in an NFL pick, and I just feel like it's a big thing to do with his prime clause. And we all know that, or we should know, or I'm gonna let y'all know, he made about $16 million from jersey sales in his before he even played a real game. And that should say a lot. That should say a lot. Like, he's over. It's crazy because he's worth over $1 billion, as I believe all black people are billionaires. And we should be treated as such. Because look at how some people treat black people like we're not American. We're more American than any American in America. Period. I just want to put that down on record. But the fact that his likeness and his presence alone ripples through the world. Like, I believe at the first game, the opening game, Shedeur Sanders had more Carolina Panthers fans with his jersey on than the actual team that's there. So I just feel like, how can you change a whole stadium's color to brown and that's not even your state? Influence, impact, equity. His father was not playing that game with his son, and I feel like at the end of the day, when he does get out there to fully be a quarterback, it's going to be prime time. That's not a coincidence. It's going to be prime time. And so I'm super excited for his future. But I think that there takes time to build a regimen around being a great quarterback. And it's not as easy as we think. And I think that we have to give time and be patient, which I know people cannot do. But Shedeur Sanders is going to be a great NFL football player. And I see that for him. Segment 3, Millionaire Moves. Now, I love Millionaire Moves because this is where you get to allow your entrepreneur manifesto, your fantasies. When you think about, I want you to just take a second right now. When you think about, just think. Take just 5 seconds to think. Yep, I want you to just think for a second. If you could create your dream business and it could bring in your dream income, what business would it be? Why? And how much money would you generate for your business monthly, weekly, daily, secondly? Is that a word? Okay. Mind your business. So I love Sweet Millionaire Formula because with this podcast, it's not just about finances, it's about culture, community, and freedom. And so when you think about this entrepreneur journey, I don't think that it should be a journey that you take as if it's all going to happen today or it's all going to happen tomorrow. I sat in the bed and was just like, Courtney, you were supposed to be here worldwide. You're supposed to be, but I'm just like, wait a minute. My mindset is already there. When I look at my notebooks, I'm planning to be there, but I'm not going to deduce the steps that I'm taking to get there because I feel like I should already be. That's the thing with instant success. I feel like you're only as great as your last accomplishment. I'm only as great as my last episode. Just to be honest, I'm only as great as my last episode. But we know where the podcast can go. We know that there's opportunities to grow and that there doesn't have to be a limit on the capacity in which I see my entrepreneur skills to grow. I can grow further. I can grow stronger. I can grow faster. But at the same time, there's steps to be building a regimen behind being a podcaster. There's steps here. Okay? The moment that you give yourself ample time. I got Nike, Apple sign. Okay, I quit. But the moment that you give yourself time to be great, I think that that's perfect timing. I feel like I tried to rush this journey of being an entrepreneur because I want to make money here. I want to make money here. But the thing about it, it's not about making money. It's about purpose and precision. It's about building and stacking a deck. And I feel like when you're an entrepreneur, you have a mission to not only fulfill the purpose that's inside of you, but there has to be longevity to what it is that you're doing so that you don't cut off the capacity to where your dream can go just because you want something fast or you want to get money quick. I feel like if you stack the deck, if you plant the seeds and you let the harvest go through its season, then on the other side of that, then you will be able to reap the benefits of a successful entrepreneur story. But I feel like for me, in the beginning, I stacked my entrepreneur story by writing my first book, which is The Beauty of a Setback. And as I think about The Beauty of a Setback, I'm just thinking about how, I want to turn that into a book and how I want to build longevity and legacy by selling those episodes or that concept to different networks or whatever the case may be. And I feel like even on my entrepreneur journey with a book, one book that I wrote and published 4 or 5 years ago, I feel like I still have, I'm still the husbandry of this book. I'm still the husbandry. I just dropped another book called, both of my books are on Amazon, but it's called Build Generational Wealth, period. I haven't even gotten started on the tour and the depiction of financial literacy and how to scale, your wealth with just a book alone and how a book increases your wealth. And I feel like these 2 books alone haven't gotten the full blossom of their season. And so I don't want to just create my books and then put them away and then be like, oh, that's it. I feel like I have to give my books the proper season. And as I evolve with this podcast, I'm seeing more and more that I am naturally drawn to the purpose of freedom and financial literacy, because it is the difference between living a life. It's like living a life in darkness and then somebody taking a bag off your head and you're like, oh, it's light? Wait, it was light the whole time? It fucks you up in the head, because it's like nobody was going to tell me in my whole 28 years. I literally checked my credit score. I'm not even kidding with y'all. When I was like 19, I don't even know how I got to my credit score, but I think I was in college trying to apply for a Discover card, and I was like, oh, I don't have a credit score. It's like 530, 519. Then, like 5 or 6 years later or something like that, I was deferring my student loans or whatever the case, but I had called back and I'm like looking for how do you find your credit score? And again, my credit score was the same amount. And I'm just like, why for like 6 years is my credit score the same? I'm applying for apartments. That's what it was. Applying for apartments, trying to get cards in my 20s. And I'm like, I don't have a credit score. I don't have a good credit score. So then I had to take these high interest rates. And I feel like interest rates are you're paying double for what you should be paying single for if you had better credit. And it takes about 2 or 3 years to really turn your credit all the way around to start to look better. But at the same time, it's worth the investment if in the end you need your credit for your entrepreneur success. Okay, we covered a lot today, and I want you guys to take a few things away. I want you to like, comment, and subscribe. Like this episode, and please follow us. Do not hesitate to follow us on social media. Sweet Millionaire Formula on Instagram, Sweet Millionaire Formula on iHeartRadio, and Sweet Millionaire Formula Spotify and YouTube. We have some great things coming up for the next season of Sweet Millionaire Formula. We would love to guys leave comments and let us know how you think about the show. So please leave your comments. And until then, stack it, save it. Peace. Until next time.